You guys just you keep coming around. I just keep hearing about you guys.
And I might need to tell Ryan to cut that up a little bit and just put it in my audio for my phone.
First of all, I love the game. I had a passion to play the game, not only football, but I love the game of golf. And what it lends to a person and the friendships you develop on the golf course.
It's been a pleasure being on the drop. I wish you guys all the best down the road.
As someone like you have that golf itch like a lot of us do.
I keep track of you, and you are moving. You are on the move.
So listen, I'm a big New Jersey golf guy. You're very kind, Mike, and you too, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be on just a couple of Jersey boys here talking about something we love. All the best. I really enjoyed it.
This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? Welcome back to Interview Thursday. Mike and I are excited to have today's guest on. It is Danny Harcourt, the Director of Instruction at Fiddler's Elbow. And while he's given instructions, he is a stud in his own right. Mike, during the interview, he tells us he won 13 golf tournaments in college. That's insane. That's over 3 a year that he's winning for 4 years. It's really incredible. But man, he's got a good thing going on up at Fiddler's Elbow, and as a young kid, he's got a very, very, very bright future. So it was really cool to have him on, kind of chop it up. We talked, obviously, we talked a little Happy Gilmore. Mike was very proud that I was able to withhold my giddiness for it till the end, but it was a really great interview, and again, you talk about someone who's got a bright future in the game of golf. It's Danny's.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's won 2 of the last 3 NJPGA majors. He just finished top 5 in the last one. So he's playing very good golf amongst some big-time names. He's only 28 years old. He's definitely has a bright future out there.
So without further ado, we're going to send you to our interview with Danny. Enjoy.
This episode is brought to you by Gimme Cocktails. Golf season is back, and so is your go-to drink for the golf course. Gimme Cocktails is a golf-inspired canned cocktail made with premium vodka, real juice, and a splash of fizz. Choose from lemonade, iced tea, or pineapple, and stay tuned. A brand new flavor is dropping soon. Crisp, refreshing, and it packs a 7% punch. You can find Gimme Cocktails at Total Wine, Circus Liquors, Huddy's and Colts Neck, and select golf courses across New Jersey. It's a Jersey-based company, so drink local. The perfect drink to tee up your round or toast to a great one after. Follow at gimme_cocktails on Instagram or visit gimmecocktails.com. Gimme Cocktails. Pick it up. All right, so today's guest is Danny Harcourt, Director of Instruction at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club and one of the top rising minds in golf instruction and competition here in New Jersey. Danny, thank you so much for coming on today's show.
Thanks, Mike and Ryan. I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come out and talk with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Danny, I'm looking forward to this. As we just said, you're rising super fast. You're giving Matthew Fitz vibes. It's just, I'm looking forward to this interview a whole lot.
Me too.
All right. So listen, let's give the audience a little bit of background about you, how you got into this game, what inspired you to go down this crazy journey that we all know and love.
Yeah, so I got started, my dad played golf growing up. He got into it later in high school and then played junior college golf. And then he always played with work. He was one of the better players as a salesman, so he got to go out and play a bunch of outings, and he was always kind of the guy they would send out and play with the customers. And so he was always such a big golf fan. His dad was into golf. And so from there it was he was dying to get me into it, and I never really kind of took it up until later on. He got us junior clubs every once in a while. So 8 years old, I was hitting balls, but it really never stuck until high school. So he would bring us out of the driving range, try to get us to play on vacation and stuff, but it never took it up. I played baseball and ice hockey growing up, and that's what I thought I would do in college. I was playing a pretty high level ice hockey, went to a high school just to try and play college hockey, and ended up playing college golf instead. So started that freshman year, sort of learning to play and working it out in the dirt. He was just a big fan of like working hard. We didn't really take many lessons growing up early. So miraculously, when I was at St. Peter's, I go out and the first tryout, we only got 6 holes in because of the dark, but I shoot even par for 6 holes, which like was not even close to what I was doing most of the time. And so that must have gave me a bunch of credit to the coaches there, because then I went on, probably shot like high 40s, low 50s the next few tryouts, but they took a huge team. And so I was so thankful for that, because then that gave me the bug to keep playing. And then so from there, never really started until I think I played 1 match my freshman year of high school. I played a couple more my sophomore year. And then I became a full-time starter by junior year. And that's sort of when I started playing tournament golf in the summer, just because I felt like it wasn't good enough until then. So I played the New Jersey Junior PGA Tour. And it's pretty cool now. I get to work right next to the guys who run that at Fiddler's. Their headquarters is right here. So that's pretty cool to come full circle like that. But I played there, played a bunch of tournaments, ended up by senior year finishing 3rd in the TOC. So that was like a record for St. Peter's at the time, the lowest finish ever. And I was fortunate enough to get onto Gettysburg College's team, Division III school. They were it was kind of like, if I could describe it, it was sort of like the transition between a fraternity team into more of a real varsity team when I got there. So we brought in 7 freshmen the year I got there. And so there was definitely some guys who had some fun there, but it definitely, the tides definitely turned once that group came in, and we came in 2nd place at conferences that year. We almost got to nationals, which was huge because the last 15 or 20 years prior wasn't really much of a chance to do that. And then where did we go from there? So then I played there. I won 13 times in college, All-American twice. Wow. And then I was like, I still didn't think I was good enough to turn pro, but my dad, so I was just going to work in computer science. That's what I ended up graduating with. But my dad was insistent that I give it a chance, and I'm so thankful that he did, because it's turned out to be one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And so like he's been, I owe everything to him, really. And so I got into that. So I stayed with golf, played amateur that summer after I graduated college, tried at the Korn Ferry Tour Q School. I got through pre-qualifying, and then I went to Florida for first stage, shot a few under par, but like at that point I wasn't really, I thought I was good, but there's some really good talent out there, and I didn't get through first stage. So I stopped there, worked for a couple months, saved up some money, went down to Florida and tried to play the minor league tour. I signed up for one event, played that, didn't really do too well, signed up for another one, and then COVID hit. So then everything stops. I come home and I'm just kind of hanging out at the house, like figuring out what I'm going to do. And I talked to Kevin Purcell, who I went to school with his son, Sean. And I was like, I'm looking to see what I can do about getting into the golf industry in the meantime, like as I sort of wait out all this COVID stuff and see where I go from there. And he connected me with 2 people. It was Drew Jordan at Hamilton and Mike Holliday at Upper Montclair. And I ended up interviewing at Upper Montclair, got an assistant pro job there, worked like outside ops and assistant pro, so like half and half, and worked the season there. As much as like I loved working there at Upper Montclair, but I ended up meeting. That's when I sort of realized I was like, all right, like I thought I was good, but then once you can't practice 8 hours a day, I realized I had something wrong in my swing, where I was like, I need to actually take some lessons and figure out what I'm doing. Because as soon as I started working full time, it was like pieces were falling apart, and it wasn't holding, like the timing, I guess you could say, was not there anymore. I didn't have enough reps. So my best friend Edmund Broderick, his dad got the director of rackets job here at Fiddler's, and he started working with Mike Adams. So he was telling me all about that, and it was like unbelievable stuff. He's doing really well. So I'm like, I got to go see what this is about. I didn't actually get in with Mike because he was so booked out, and it's just like typical for him to be like 2 or 3 months in advance. But I did get a lesson with George Dietz, the director of golf. So that was my first introduction to all of it. And I so I take a lesson with him, helps changes my grip, and so now I basically can't hook the ball anymore. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is insane stuff. Like, never in my life would I all I did ever did with my grip. My dad was just like interlock, and that's about it. Like, that's all I was ever given for instruction, and I sort of worked everything else out in the dirt. So to be like moving my hand more on top and releasing the golf club was like so foreign. But it was like amazing, like the transformation. So I'm like, I got to stick with these guys and see what's going on with this. So he actually brought me over to Terry Rolls at Mountain Ridge, who's Mike's partner. And because he's like, at that point, he was like earlier in his teaching of all of Mike's stuff. And so he's like, I don't want to screw up a really good player. So he's like, let's bring him over here and make sure that I did the right job with him. And so I spent some more time with Terry, had a few more sessions with him. And he's like, you got to go work with Mike. Like, you got to go figure out a way to spend some time with him, get a job there. And so thankfully, George reached out and asked what I was going to be doing for the next year. And I was still kind of debating whether I was going to play golf for a living or stick in the industry. And George was like, we have the technology here, we have Mike, we have a lot going on, we have the 3 courses to offer. So that opportunity to really level up my game, and just with the resources they have here, was something I felt like I couldn't pass up. And then being around one of the greatest instructors of all time, Mike, every day would be like a dream come true, to make sure that I'm on the right track to play the best golf possible. So as much as I love the guys out of Montclair, and I always have stayed friends and close with those guys, it was one of the most fun seasons of my life. I ended up leaving, and then I came here, and ever since I've been at Fiddler's working as assistant, and worked my way up to director of instruction this year. So it's been a crazy journey, but I think I owe it all to my dad and my mom for giving me the opportunities to get here, because they've done so much for me and steered me in the right track, and I'm so thankful for them.
It's wild how many people, there's no one path to get into the golf industry. Like, it's
No.
so crazy that just like, you're like, oh, maybe I'll get into computer science. And then dad's like, well, why don't you try going, keep playing golf? And it's true. Like, keep doing it and exhaust it until you can't do it anymore. Cause once you're done. Right.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that's a really cool story. I like that.
George Wall Ford in Red Bank, New Jersey is family owned and operated, proudly serving New Jersey residents with superior customer service since 1960. Rye, share your story about your experience there.
Mike, I went on a tangent in one of our episodes previously about it, but I can't say enough good things about George Wall Ford. I needed a new car. I had an old. I loved the brand that I had. I loved, it was an SUV, but had 165,000 miles on it. It was just time, So I hopped on over to George Wall Ford. I saw our guy Jerry, and Jerry and his team were awesome. I mean, from stem to stern, they're there, they're helping, they're knowledgeable. They have so many cars on the lot that you can go in and say, hey, I want a sunroof, a navigation. I want this kind of rims on it. I want this kind of this, that, and the other thing. There's a great chance that they have that car with all your specs, the color, all that thing. Me, I didn't particularly care. I just, I was like, hey, I want to be high up in the car, right? I need an SUV. I'm a big guy. I got a dog. I got golf clubs. I got beach chairs in the summer. I need something that's a little more rugged, a little more, again, I like to be higher in my car. And I went and saw Jerry. He pointed me in the right direction. And again, it's awesome to have that kind of help and support from your salesman to the finance guy to even they got somebody who helps you set up your car, right? I got an app on my phone now that's got my auto start on it. I can locate my car if I don't know where it is. I could take a trip to Japan if I wanted to and be like, did I lock my car? And I can go into the app and lock my car. So even even people helping you set up that stuff. Just the hands-on approach over there is incredible. So if you need a car, head on over to George Wall. And go ask for Jerry. They were awesome there. Again, stem to stern from everybody. I can't say enough good things about it. It was an unbelievable experience.
So to Ryan's point, there isn't a better place to shop for a brand new car. Just call 732-704-1932 and ask for Jeremy Wall. George Wall Ford in Red Bank for all your car buying needs. I'm always the guy that's always peeking at these names and trying to figure out more and more about who you guys are. And I think as Ryan and I have continued to really open the playbook here and getting more people on, maybe names that aren't household names, you're a guy that has, kind of jumped on the scene more so, I would say, in the last like 18 to 24 months with your gameplay. And I think that it's kind of interesting to hear your story right there when you talk about instruction and not really getting it and figuring it out in the dirt, to now being the guy that's leading the instruction at Fiddler's Elbow.
Yeah.
What's that new position like before I even dive into your game?
Oh, it's been great so far. It's Fiddlers is cool because it's maybe the biggest family you could have, and everybody's sort of on the same page. We all are teaching Mike stuff. Mike and George have basically been our mentors for however long you've been here. This is my 5th year. So like it's pretty amazing what you can do here if you become an assistant pro. It's like in my free time, my first year here, Keelan McDonough was still here. He's now the director of instruction at Matita. But he told me every chance you get, you got to be up here watching Mike. George says the same thing. And so basically that first year I did some lessons, which is, it's funny because you just, as an assistant pro, when at a busy place, you just get thrown into the fire. You're like, here you go, here's a lesson. Someone needs some help. And so you got to kind of go work it out. And so some of my early lessons admittedly were not very good. And I'm sure that's true for a lot of instructors. But it's been an amazing transformation, and seeing like in the way that I see the golf swing, in the way that I approach a lesson. And it's all because of Mike and George and Terry Rolls, really. Like I've spent so much time with them now. I got like addicted to learning since I've gotten here. The stuff that like the way they're matching up people, and then now the way I'm matching up people to the way their body works and what they can do, just simply makes the golf swing easier for people. And that's why I feel like you have so many lessons, is because we can make golf easy for you if you're matched up to the way your body moves. And it's really cool stuff. But yeah, so I spent as much time as I possibly could with Mike that first year. And then Keelan ended up getting a promotion and moving on to Matita. And that's when I was like, because I watched Mike so much, he's like, I want you to replace Keelan as my assistant. So that second year coming back, I was like, well, am I going to stay as Mike's assistant, or am I going to leave and go try to play for a living again? And I was like so back and forth with it, but I felt like this opportunity is something very few people will ever get. So I ended up taking it, and I'm so thankful that I did, because he took me under his wing. And it's a scary thing teaching next to Mike. Like it's because you sit there and he's basically he's giving his lesson and listening to what you're saying at the same time. So the amount of times that he came over and corrected me and made me feel like a complete clown was numerous, but it was like every single time you remember the lesson forever and you'll never forget it. And so you're always like, he's so into making people better that it pains him to hear things that are not correct, if I could phrase it that way. So when he comes over, he's doing it in the nature of helping the student, not to make you feel bad about yourself or to embarrass you. He's just so dead set on helping people get better at golf, which is like, he's the most caring person ever. but sometimes as the instructor is one of the worst feelings ever. But again, you still it's part of learning and part of getting better. So there's so many different pieces there that he helped me out, and I've never forgotten. So that was a huge part of getting better and learning more and more. And then I got to spend like some winters watching him and him and Terry giving golf school or teaching golf schools. Even was out there in Arizona when Sportsbox AI was being developed. And so that's where I met Doug Spencer, who I've now become unbelievable friends with, and text him all the time. We're in a group chat where we're texting about the golf swing and doing more and more research daily. So these little trips that were kind of all over the country, I've learned so much from them, watching all their seminars, being at their golf schools, watching them give lessons. Like I've probably watched, I don't know, thousands of hours of lessons at this point between the two of them. And what's cool is they're more than willing to let you sit down and watch for free. Like they don't charge people to come watch them. They encourage it because they really want all their instructors who are willing to learn and excited to learn to get better, which has been really cool. And so now what we're sort of doing is so Mike has done 40 years of research or more, and Terry has helped contribute significantly to that. And so now we're taking what Mike has created with all the different screens and tests for bioswing dynamics, and we're seeing how we can complement that with extra little setup pieces that make it even simpler. So at this point, it's very algorithmic in how you're able to make a student swing the golf club more easily and play to their natural movement. So it was a lot of that. It's like basically starting out watching tons of Mike, then Terry and Mike. Now I go up to Hudson National and I'll watch Terry as much as I can. It's not as often as I wish I could, but it's always a fun trip when I go up there. And now we're doing tons of research with Sportsbox AI to see if we can find other patterns that sort of match up to what we're expecting and maybe what we're not expecting to. So it's been a really cool journey, and I'm thankful that they've given me they've provided their confidence in me to be their director of instruction here.
I think a lot of people would like to get up to Hudson National a lot more often.
That's so true. That's a sweet spot. Best
Danny,
halfway house I've ever seen.
How much are you doing with TPI and the golf swing? Because one of the things that I've done over the last 2 winters now is I've gone to a physical therapist. We have a guy, Dr. Mike. Actually, I got his hat on, so shameless plug right now. But his the TPI form of like, there's no perfect golf swing. There's a perfect golf swing for everybody, right? So that's kind of like the physical therapy side, and it's kind of like what we've been trying to do over the winter when in the Northeast you can't really swing the golf club. You can't go play in December, January, February. So we've kind of put this series together. How much of TPI are you bringing into your lessons, or how do you integrate that, if at all?
Admittedly, I don't use a lot of TPI. Our trainer at Fiddlers, Frank, he's been unbelievable. I think this is his 2nd year now. And I'm actually going to try to go see him this week if I've got a free moment. Because I did a screen with him last year and learned that I'm lacking in quite a few spots of flexibility, which we account for in the measurements, which is very cool. Like my external rotation and my trail shoulder is much more immobile than it should be, especially for my age, I guess you could say. So I'm going to see him and try to get some stuff worked out. But a lot of the times I'll be sending my students to him as they start to, because basically it's like early on you're seeing what you can do to get them matched up to hit better golf shots. And then you sort of max out their speed for what they have and what they can do. And then the next stage is like, what can you do with increasing mobility and strength to then come back and bring that back to the golf swing? And that's what Frank is so good at. So I leave a lot of that to him, truthfully. And it's something I think I will start to integrate with my teaching eventually. But as of now, it's not something I'm too much involved with yet. So
so you have so you have a trainer on, like, there's a guy at Fiddlers who's like a physical therapist or a trainer, so to speak.
Yeah. Yes, yeah,
Wow.
he's full-time trainer. We have because we have our own little gym on property. So he's there. I think it's probably at least 5 or 6 days a week, and we've got all the members going there. He's got outside clients because we allow non-members to come in for lessons or training sessions. So he's a pretty busy guy over there. He's doing because he does amazing stuff. Like the screening process that I did for him was like almost, I want to say it was close to an hour long. Takes tons of different measurements, tons of different tests, makes you feel pretty bad about yourself in certain areas, but it's like if you
I'm
see
well
that, he's
aware of
got
that.
tons of potential. Right. But yeah, he's awesome. He's been doing great work, and he's even helpful with speed training too. Like he'll use the stack and super speed training, those blue, what is it, the green, blue, and red clubs.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'll work on speed with you as well. So he's the whole package. He's a really amazing guy.
The New Jersey Golf Foundation, the charitable arm of the New Jersey PGA section, is proud to introduce the Heroes Tour coming in April 2025. The Heroes Tour will offer competitive golf opportunities at golf courses across the state for military veterans, active duty military personnel, and first responders, including law enforcement, EMTS, and fighter fighters. Proceeds from the Heroes Tour will support the continued growth of military programs offered by the New Jersey Golf Foundation, led by PGA Hope, helping our patriots everywhere. PGA Hope is a weekly rehabilitative golf program for veterans that is saving the lives of America's heroes in New Jersey and nationwide. Today, the program is offered in 15 counties across the state while positively impacting nearly 500 veterans annually. To support or learn more about the Heroes Tour, please visit njgolffoundation.org or call 732-465-1212. That's njgolffoundation.org or 732-465-1212. Give me a little bit more about Sportsbox AI. Like I know that you were involved early on with that, and I'm a nerd when it comes to like analytics and AI and all the tech space that there is. And I understand that there's different ways to give lessons and to help the everyday golfer. Give me a little bit about what Sportsbox AI is and your involvement.
What I would say, Sportsbox AI, as Mike says, is a better set of eyes. Technology is a better set of eyes, I think is what he was quoted as saying, and Sportsbox has kind of run with that line, and I think it's absolutely true. Because there's a metric that Terry Rolls created. It's called sway gap. So it's the difference between where your chest and your pelvis is throughout the golf swing, or the movement rather. And so what we're learning is that different styles of golfers should have different amounts of sway gap at address. Generally, what you have at address is what you'll have at the top. And then at impact, it'll be more related to swing shape and shot intent. But so like that's one of the bigger pieces I personally think is tough to see with the naked eye. But when you see it with Sportsbox, it's much clearer. So you'll see a player with a stronger grip tends to have more sway gap. The chest will be further behind, let's say, your belt buckle, versus an on top grip or weaker grip player like myself will be more stacked up. I'd be like more like Scotty Scheffler. And so it's okay to be stacked at the top. It's okay to be stacked at address. Everyone's going to be a little bit back by impact as you push up and away. But that's one of the bigger pieces I would say we use. It's like, because if you can get it right at setup, then it takes care of itself from there. And it's a huge influence on swing direction. So Terry found that sway gap has the largest influence on swing direction outside of your aim. So the larger your sway gap, the more you'll swing to the right. The lower your sway gap, the more you'll swing to the left. So you can use those pieces in your lesson very easily to help solve people pretty quickly. And I would say we just got it installed. We have Sportsbox Studio now in both Academy bays at Fiddlers, which is really cool. And the tough part about it all is like a lot of data, but so it's like, how do you use it? And so I've sort of created a cheat sheet for our staff. We're having a presentation tomorrow night, so I'm going to start addressing all that stuff and getting them trained on it. But I'm so thankful Terry set up this project that we've been doing the past 2 years, where we're taking PGA Tour players and LPGA Tour players, and we're putting them into Sportsbox and analyzing their swings and taking data from each position throughout the golf swing, and we're learning the expected ranges for an under grip player, a side or an on top grip player, a front post, rear post, center post, pivot. So we're seeing different trends, but we're seeing really in the daily lesson, I would say you're looking at the setup pieces that are involved with it. You're looking at the timing of pelvis sway, and you're looking at lifts and turns primarily. So that's out of the at least first few weeks that we've been using it in the studio, and I've been using it on my phone for a couple of years now. That's what I use most. And early on, like it was the funniest, like I think the funniest story looking back on when it was all started was like the way they trained the AI was we had like, I think it was probably like 7 people, maybe 8 people all over. Like, so I was laying on the ground at face on, and I had a camera on the floor, one at belt high, and then someone else was down the line, belt high on the ground, and then all sorts of angles, someone behind. So there would be one person in the middle swinging. They'd be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, and everybody clicks record. And that's how they train the AI to create Sportsbox. So they matched it up to the AMN system. It's like that whole bodysuit that you put on with all the wires and everything. So that's how they created it. Was like, how do we make the data exactly the same as a full bodysuit, which is the most accurate, which previously was the most accurate technology. Now, with tons of training with the compute, with the cameras using A&M, now it's turned into one of the coolest and probably most useful apps out there for instruction. So it's been really cool to see what's been going on with that, and I think it's only going to get more and more popular. I mean, Bryson apparently won the U.S. Open fixing his sway gap and finding out what shot was wrong or what shot he hated most, which is like a push that out to the right. And he ended up fixing his sway gap to eventually win at Pinehurst, which is a pretty cool story Terry told me about.
I'm looking at the website here. This is crazy stuff. I mean, this is really in-depth, like analytics or yeah, this is an amazing teaching tool. Wow.
Yeah, and I think it'll be around for quite a while. And I think it's only going to catch on to more and more people as time goes on.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time, really.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's good stuff. And I think that's just the way that we're trending in this world as it is today. So it's definitely a good thing. Danny, now as you kind of, pivot a little bit to your playing, you've kind of jumped on the scene here and maybe, I'm underselling things a little bit, but when you're looking at strictly leaderboards and where guys finish, you finished last year winning the final major of the season. Then you head into 2025, obviously feeling good, not only about your career life, getting a promotion and a new title, but then you go out and you win the first major of the year. You're coming off a top 5 finish at the second one. Like, what are you looking to do with your game? What's helped you that competitive edge, just kind of, in these pressure filled events, like kind of get the job done?
I would say it's sort of owning more and more pieces in my swing. Each year, I feel like we sort of discover one new piece that's like really been helpful. And it's just tons of practice. I mean, it's like Mike Holiday texted me the other week, and he's like, I mean, it's like cliche line, but like the harder you work, the luckier you get, and I think it's true. Because there was a lot of years where I was practicing a ton and I was always close. Like I think they made tons of fun of me for like coming in second like so many times in all the assisted events, but it's just sort of finally coming together a little bit more. I feel like I understand my swing a little bit better. I'm like addicted to practicing and playing golf. Like I think I probably went 12 years without, I think there was probably, what was it? I think there was like only once in 12 years did I not practice for more than 2 days in a row. Like I went to a wedding last summer, and like there was 4 days away and I didn't hit balls. I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Because I'm just so used to practicing a ton, and I love it. I'll try to play every single night, even if it's like 1 or 2 holes. Um, but sometimes I can't get out. It's just the way it works. But yeah, I would say like it's with each stage in golf. This is where, like, even at the PPC, the PGA Professional Championship this spring, I missed the cut. And I think it's a little bit to do with your comfort level at each stage in your career. Like high school golf felt like immaculate pressure, or like immense pressure all the time. I was like, then if finally you get used to it, then you do well there, and then you move up to college and you do the same thing. You're like, oh my gosh, like all these guys are so much better than me. Like I'm gonna lose, and then you do all right, then you win, and you move up to the pros, then it's like assisted events. And then I played the section championship last year, and I played well the first 2 rounds, but that final round I was like so nervous it wasn't even funny. I started thinking so much about qualifying for nationals, and I was playing with Tyler Hall and Anthony Castellino in the final group, and Tyler's a good friend. Do you think it would be like, all right? I'm like, but I was just like nervous as all get out, um, and I grinded it out to like I think a couple over par in the final round and qualified. But like it's just amazing how different stages of pressure or different levels of competition change your mindset. And then as you get more and more comfortable with it, then you feel like I've got some confidence now. I can win this. I can beat these guys, and I think that'll be big for next year if I hopefully can qualify again for nationals, because I was again out there like with all the cameras from Golf Channel. Like I talked to Alex Beach actually before I went out there. His family's or his wife and his family are at Fiddlers, and so I saw him leading up to that. And he told me, he's like, there's gonna be cameras out there. You're gonna get nervous. Like you just have to ignore it. But and you just can't get over it really. It's like I just was a little bit more nervous than I expected to be. But yeah, as I've gotten out here, it's just been getting more and more comfortable at this level of golf, and owning my swing a little bit more, and just building confidence off of past successes and believing in myself, I think. And there's absolutely no substitute for reps. Like it's so true that you need to make yourself uncomfortable as much as possible. Being on the range, hitting really good shots is very fun to do, but when you go out there, it can feel like an entirely different game, and that's what makes the best players in the world so great, is that their games on the range are so similar to what they are on the golf course. They're not different people to some extent. I mean, the pressure gets to everybody, but it's being able to stay the same as much as possible is how they succeed, I think. And so that's kind of where I've been at with that.
It's amazing looking back, and you're like, back in high school, you thought that was the most pressure that could possibly ever happen, and now
Right.
you look back and you're like, I wish that was the most amount of pressure
Yeah.
I had.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's amazing. Like those times were so fun. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's cool though. I'm so you gotta be thankful for the pressure. Really, it's like it's if it means that much, it's gotta be a good thing for you. So
Pressure
cool.
makes diamonds. So,
That's right. Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about Fiddlers. Now, Ryan and I are two guys that hear a lot about Fiddlers. We hear about the piece of property, the 318 holes, Happy Gilmore filming there. Like we've heard all the stories about what's going on at Fiddlers. Tell us a little bit about Fiddler's Elbow, the golf course, the membership, etc.
So yeah, so Fiddlers it's one of the coolest facilities in the state, I think, maybe in the country. I'd go down to Johns Island Club for the winter, the past 2 winters. It's another 54-hole facility, but the level of activity, I don't know that any place compares to this really. I think what have we got, like 80,000 rounds a year or something like that, and then we've got like 3 course outings Monday, Tuesdays throughout the summer, tons of different member events. But yeah, I mean, the golf courses are amazing. Each year they get better and better. It's really pretty cool to see the transformation. It's like you got River hosts the AJGA KJ Troy event every single year. It's like really good uh, tournament course, very tricky greens. Not always the fastest, I would say, but like the amount of undulation in the greens ends up making it incredibly tough to get to some of the pins. And then the forest course is like maybe as different as you can get between on a single property. It's like you go out there, you feel like you're playing like sort of part of the back nine, you feel like it's like a links course. Part of the front nine, you feel like you're maybe out in the Pacific Northwest amongst the trees. Like it's really, I don't know, it's a cool property, unbelievable views. Like you get to see the whole valley of Bedminster from parts of the forest course, and then even the meadow has been amazing. And they just purchased some more property on the side of the meadow 16, so they're going to reorganize some holes. They're going to add some more holes there, take part of the front nine and make it into a par three course. So the planning and the projects that go on here is just like endless. Like it's kind of be. I wish you could like look into the future just to see what it'll turn out to be, because it's like the amount of things they have going on, like more like a wellness center, different parts of driving range near short game area. So it's like tons of stuff on on the docket, I guess you could say, but already a really phenomenal spot and one of the largest driving ranges in the state. Having the academy building, I think we were one of the first to have an indoor academy building. We have 3 bays. The New Jersey PGA has that left bay for most of the week, but we've got the other 2 and we can use all 3 if needed. Really good short game area. So like if you're into golf, if you love golf, this is absolutely the place to be, because you have unlimited access all the time to go do whatever you need. And I think what like a very underrated part is that we keep the driving range open virtually all the time. Like it doesn't close, it never closes early except on Mondays for the clean pick, and it opens late on Tuesday morning. But outside of that, like if you want to hit golf balls, you can hit as long as you want, you can hit as early as you want. And that was like huge selling point for me, to be able to hit as long as possible, because that's every single night after work I would make sure that I was out there practicing. So I can't I can't say enough good things about Fiddlers. I mean, and then the staff here is unbelievable. Like you have George and Ryan, 2 of the best golf professionals maybe in the country, and Mike Adams, best golf instructor in history, and Caitlin and Bailey in the golf shop. Like they run, I think, like they haven't won shop of the year, but I think it's just a matter of time. And they could probably win it every year if you ever saw this place. But it's just like every single manager at this place pushes you to be better and is so willing to sit down and help you in any way or listen to you at any single time. And I think that's what really keeps a lot of people here. We have such great retention on assistant pros, and it's what makes this place really special. And I'm so thankful that I ended up getting this opportunity to work here.
So I'm looking at it, Mike. You've never been there, correct? If I'm not mistaken. I know. Yeah, I didn't think so. I know I've never been there. I'm looking at this on Google Maps, and when you say it has 318 holes, we've heard about the Happy Gilmore, which we're going to get into in a few. But you know, it is just looking at the Google Maps. It is so expansive, and to your point, it looks like you have, you know, the like Linksy on the front here, closer to the clubhouse, but then you can get into like the forest kind of part of it there. It's an enormous piece of property. To as you said, they bought some more land. It looks like it's an incredible facility. We hear it's an incredible facility, so it's doing all the right things.
It is, yeah. And we've got our men's invitational this week, which I think it's one of the largest invitationals in the country. So that's always I even though I've changed roles, I'll still be involved with helping out, because we need all hands on deck for this event. And we always get great reviews from it, thankfully, but because of the work that Ryan and George put into making sure this is all planned out, and Daniel Meisner now is the lead assistant, he's going to be making sure that everything is perfect for the week, and it's looking like the cooler weather should keep the greens nice and fast for everyone and make it a nice challenge. So we're excited to get that started too. So that's going to be quite the weekend coming up.
What makes it the largest invitational in the? Is it? Do you use all 3 18s? Like, do you have that many? Just the amount of people?
Yeah, we do use all 3 18s. We'll do tee times off of each 9. So we have 6 starters. I'm always Meadow number 10, and then we do, because of the shootout, we do Meadow 18. So we start on Meadow 18 that final day. But I should know how many flights. Ryan's going to kill me for not knowing this, but I think we've got 30 flights, if I had to say.
30 flights?
Yeah, I'm not too sure though. Like, Ryan's going to kill me, but something around there, which is just
That's
craziness going on.
wild.
Yeah,
Holy
so
cow.
it's a big show. It's very fun.
Production. It's a production.
Yeah.
So so I think that's what makes it one of the biggest in the country, if not the biggest. So we're excited for that.
Yeah. Well, Mike, you want me to ask it or you want to ask it?
Well, this is your baby. This, you have to ask it. I'm actually surprised you waited this long to get the Happy Gilmore question in, especially from the very beginning. I thought that was going to be your first question. We were going to skip anything about Danny, his golf game, his background. I thought we were talking strictly Happy Gilmore. So I'm shocked we waited this long. So you got to fire away.
Danny, obviously, coming out, the Happy Gilmore, the filming and everything was the, worst kept secret in maybe modern filming history. What was it like from your end, seeing Happy Gilmore from afar, or were you up close? What was the production like?
Are you in it?
Fiddler's Elbow? Yeah. Did you make an appearance? You got a cameo? Like, talk to us about that whole thing. You could go on for 7 more hours about this, and people would be interested.
Yeah, I wish I could. I was originally supposed to be in it. Or one of the trustees, Matt Donovan, was asked if we could get a professional to hit some shots in the movie. I don't know that I was going to end up being filmed hitting the shots, but the ball landing next to the hole, spinning back, or going in the hole was originally supposed to be what I was doing. So I blocked off my book for like a few of the days that I was supposed to be there, and ended up not hearing back from them. So, because they were it was kind of crazy. They were very much like, I mean, they had it, I guess, planned out, but they were like, I guess, weather dependent, and certain other things were like kind of bouncing around a lot. And then, so I didn't end up being in the movie. I was like so excited to at least had that part in it, but I didn't end up getting in it. But a lot of the members got in it. They were they ended up being extras in the crowd, and there were volunteers and stuff. So there was like some funny stories. One of the members I teach, he worked as a volunteer, like holding up the "Quiet Please" sign behind the tee box. And so Will Zalatoris was there hitting tee shots off the 16th tee, that par 5 here. And they sit there for 12 hours and film one scene. It's amazing. Like, I can't even imagine being out there for that long. So they'll just film it over and over again and get the right angles, get the right line, whatever, I guess. And he was talking he was talking about how he asked them for like a zin or something, and because he's got a zin in or something, and he's like, if you ever see me reaching for my right pocket, this is Will Zalatoris talking. If you ever see me reaching for my right pocket in a tournament, that's where I keep my zins. So in case I'm ever doing bad, this is what I reach for. So he had those in all day long, and there were some other funny ones like that. But yeah, I was not involved with it, but a lot of the members got to be. And Wally Kim, our assistant pro, he was one of the extras. So I think he was on. There was a clip of like on Jimmy Fallon show, maybe, or Jimmy Kimmel, whatever it is, one of the late night shows, I guess. And you could see Wally on TV, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, otherwise it was kind of insane. Like the amount of stuff they had in the parking lots. Like they had like, I guess it was either like a sports drink or a paint bottle that's like 20 feet tall. They had like 4 or 5 of them. They're just sitting in the parking lot for like a week, waiting to go out onto the golf course and get set up. They put on the first hole of the Meadow, they dug up the entire fairway and put sand down. Um, from what I understand, a dune buggy is attached to, well, at least to make it happen, they attached it to like a centerpiece, and the dune buggy just keeps going around on the string and doing donuts in the sand. And the idea is someone's trying to hit a shot while they keep getting sprayed with sand. And I can't wait to see what the scene looks like, because I didn't see the filming, but I heard the plan for it, and it's got to be hysterical. Like he just keeps getting blasted with it. So they did stuff like that, and they put like they dug like 10 feet down in the meadow fair, like meadow number 8, and they did some sort of arena around that. They had they had windmills on all throughout the ninth hole of forest. There's like these 20 feet tall windmills out there, and like surround like, and there was like you could see like dents in them because people like we still let play happen even though there was the whole thing set up out there. So people must have been hitting golf balls off of the windmills so you could see little dents in them. It was amazing because it was just like we were still open for play, but a lot of the times we would have to move it. So that was like definitely on the shop side end, it was a nightmare because they would be like, we need these 3 holes on river, and there would be either an outing or there would be member play on that course. And we had this, like, the way we signed the deal apparently was sort of like giving them free reign. And so we had to sort of move things around. Like one day we did a composite course between the river, the meadow, and the forest. So you'd play 18 holes, but you'd play parts of each because of the filming.
What a nightmare.
Yeah. So logistically,
That's
it
a
was
logistic,
insane.
yeah.
And but yeah, it was very cool to see some of the guys come through. Like Scotty Scheffler was here doing a scene walking out of the golfers entrance. So that'll be, hopefully if that's in the movie, all the members will be able to say like, this is where I was, or this is where I go every day, and this is where Scotty was. And Justin Thomas, Zalatoris, and we had even Brooks, Bryson, and Scotty and Rory there for the one day for part of the filming, and then they also did their Golf Digest shoot for the match out in Las Vegas. So they did like a media day there. I was away at a tournament. I couldn't believe I missed that day. Like that was the worst. They did so much filming there in the Academy building as well, and I was like, "There's no way I missed that." But my friend Edmund was there for it, so you got to see some of it. But yeah, it was pretty cool having them. The members, they definitely were. We really appreciate what they did and letting that all that happen, and I'm hopeful that they enjoy what comes out of the movie because they definitely had to suffer a little bit there with their ability to play and giving up the golf course. So we're really thankful for what they did to allow that to happen.
I was just going to ask, like, what is the membership backlash? Isn't the right, it tends to be a negative word, but like overall, would they do it again, or would they like, this was miserable? We really, wouldn't like. What's their viewpoint on it?
If I had to say, they probably won't want to do it again, but I don't know. It depends on how well this movie turns out and how many Fiddler scenes are in it, I guess. But yeah, we'll see what happens when it all comes out. I think that'll be a better tell based on what their availability to play the courses. I'd say probably not. Probably not one
Yeah.
back.
There's no doubt it's a major
understandable.
sacrifice. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
major sacrifice on their part, and that's where probably a lot of other courses in the area may have declined. You guys have, the property and the facilities there. That another reason why they came to you. You guys were open to doing it. So, listen, I think like Ryan, I think we're all dying to see this movie and seeing what the whole thing turns out.
Mike, I actually want to get into something you just talked about. I mentioned last week on our episode, Danny, that and we were going back and forth with Tony Finau's comments coming out of the Truist and using Philly cricket, needing a stop up here in the Northeast, and Fiddlers was one of the courses that I suggested be a stop on the PGA Tour. It has the property, it has the panache, it has the the difficultness. It's got a lot of ways to host an event. From my understanding, again, never being on property. Is that true? And is it something the membership would be open to for to have? And is that something that, like, is Fiddlers open to those kind of things, or they're like, no, we're good?
I would say I mean, as much as they might want to do it once or twice, I think a lot of these people just love to play. So giving up their golf course is like,
It's
it's
tough.
brutal.
It's a
Like there's
big
so many
deal.
people here. There's like over 1,000 members. So even with 3 courses, sometimes it's difficult to get out. So like even for the Happy Gilmore moving that down, reducing that was like brutal for people to even get a tee time. So I don't know. I'd say, I mean, I think we definitely have the size and the property to do it. Um, and we lay in a little bit of a like a low-lying area for drainage. So like we've done really good work with adding more drainage projects to the golf courses, so it is draining better. But we do have the river running right through, so any bit of rain ends up making this place a little bit soft and could end, like as you see, even with any week it rains out on the tour, they just go light it up. They just throw darts everywhere and becomes quite the shootout. But yeah, I think we could do it. I don't know if the members would want to though. Like they really
Yeah.
love to play golf. They love having their spot, and
That seems to be the
so,
biggest problem. Anytime that we've talked to places about it, it's they don't want to shut their course down for a month and a half, 2 months to allow the PGA to come in and set up. Or again, even with the Happy Gilmore shooting, like they didn't want their course being taken. I can understand it.
I think a lot of it too, Rye, is you got to think in the Northeast, you only get a certain amount of time to play, right? And if you're telling me that I got to shut it down for X amount of time to let someone else play it when I'm the one paying to play it and I don't get to play it, I'm a little aggravated as a member because this is my money, this is my time. It's June, July, August. We as the members want to play. I'm not shutting it down for you,
right.
regardless of really who it is.
Well, and that's why Fiddlers is one that comes to mind, because you could shut down 27 holes and still have 27 holes for the members to be playing.
There's no way. There's no way they would do both things allowed to go on at one time. No
Yeah.
shot that Scotty Scheffler's 3 holes over.
I'm
and
not
I'm
saying
playing on a
no.
different
I'm
18.
I'm saying leading up to it. You shut down one so they can make sure the grass is all good. They can put up the stands and maybe they use I mean, you have an enormous driving range, but I know at like Bethpage they shut down the red course so they can use the holes on that for the driving range in the short area. So maybe that's the case at Fiddlers, but you still have up until maybe even a week before guys using the other because it minimizes then shutting down the whole thing. That's why I came up with Fiddlers, because it has the vastness in the property.
Yeah, that would totally be something we do though, is like have a PJ Tour event going on and still letting members go out on another course. That would be like absolutely Fiddler's move to do. And they
all right, Danny,
100% do it.
I got a question here, because this seems to be something that sparks a lot of, I get a lot of DMs and a lot of issues that people take up with this because they're always interested about where guys like you really, really like. And the question is, if you got one get out of jail free card from your significant other and you got invited to go play this one spot and you got to say, I got to drop everything and go, but you got to take out Pine Valley and you got to take out Fiddlers and it's got to be here in New Jersey. What's that one spot for you?
I always like to answer with Arcola, but I also haven't played I haven't played Baltusrol lower yet. And my friend Zach Peretti, he works at John's Island Club with me in the winter. He's an assistant there this year for second season. I'm hopeful I can get out with him. He said he owes me one over there, so I'm really hopeful to get out. But yeah, out of the ones I've played, I think Arcola is one of the best. It's brutal though. I never play good there. Like I don't think I've ever shot like better than 72. Like I always like even last year I played. I was in the semifinals.
He never plays good, even par.
Yeah, well, that was like my best. It was like a career round in the Arcola Cup when I was in college, and like but like every other time after that, it's like 74 or higher, and I always miss the cut. And like the Met Open there, like I shot like 78, 76 or something like that. And but it's so fun. It's like such a sick golf course, and the greens are like that's what I imagine Oakmont is the way their greens run. So it's like one of the best tests I've ever played. And like it's like I don't know, maybe that's why I keep wanting to go back, is because I like feel like if I can beat this place, like that's a really big accomplishment maybe. But yeah, it's like something about that place is like really cool, because I last year was in the semifinals of we have an assistant season long match play, so we have a bracket that kind of goes on throughout the season. We sort of just find the person. We'll either do it at Fiddlers, or you could go to a neutral course. Sometimes we just go to our own clubs though. And I was playing in Brendan Davis, and I was like, oh, he's at Arcola, let's go play there. And I lost. It's like I was playing so good, and then I lose at that because it's Arcola again. I can't get it. But that's probably one of them. I love to see Baltusrol lower, and I got to play Ridgewood once. That was also an assistant season-long match play event match. Ridgewood was really cool too. So I would say, yeah, between one of those three. But if it does something new, let's say Baltusrol lower, just to see what that's like.
There you go.
What is it for you guys?
Oh,
I mean, when we went to
Yeah.
Ridgewood, I had the time of my life. I
Yeah.
thought all 27 holes there were spectacular. I thought the architecture was phenomenal. I thought the conditions were flawless. I just think it gives a different vibe at that place. The mixture of old school, new modern looks, tough holes, phenomenal greens. There's so many little things at that place that just stands out to me. I'd have a hard time not saying Ridgewood, and I guess another one I love is Galloway. Like I love
Oh, yeah.
Galloway. It's another spot that I could
Sweet.
go play every day and just not get bored of.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I love North Jersey Country Club. That's pretty well
Oh, yeah.
documented here on this on the pod here. Mike's point to Ridgewood is a special place as well, and I'm looking forward to. I've been teased because I've played 9 holes on the upper at Baltusrol. And
Oh.
so I've been on property and seen it, and like I know how good the front 9 is on the upper. So seeing the rest of the property is something I'm super interested in doing as well.
Really cool. And North Jersey's sweet. The greens there are just like every time you play that, it can be a wild ride. It's so fun.
I shot 92 the first time I played it. So to your point of like playing poorly and still loving the place is true.
Right.
So, Danny, thank you so much for coming on. This has been really special for us, and good luck the rest of the season, and with what you got moving forward. And appreciate you joining us. And hopefully we'll get out to Fiddlers and get a chance to see you and play in person.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys can come out whenever you like. If there's anything I can ever do for you, please let me know. I'm thrilled to be on, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Oh, no worries. We'll take them up. We'll put you in touch with the scheduler.
Perfect. We'll see you shortly then.
Thanks, Danny. Take care.
Thank you. You too.